What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, today we got information and we got news that updated us on the highly anticipated undisputed welterweight showdown between two undefeated fighters, one being undefeated, newly crowned three-belt unified welterweight world champion who is widely considered by many to be top two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is now 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay, and undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford is 38 wins, no losses, no draw, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, today ESPN announced that Terence Crawford, Errol Spence is in the closing stages of agreeing to a fight to take place in October for Undisputed in Las Vegas, Nevada. Errol Spence himself even retweeted this, okay? He posted it, he reposted it on his social media that they're close to an agreement. Well, then we know that Errol Spence is with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champion, founder and advisor Al Heyman. We know Errol Spence, he fights on Showtime with Showtime President of Sports Stephen Espinosa. Stephen Espinosa has stated that two of the major three hurdles have already been done away with. And Errol Spence reposted this today. Well, another guy that's close to the situation, obviously, is retired, legendary, iconic, Hall of Fame superstar boxer, who is now a promoter, that being none other than Floyd Mayweather Jr., okay? Floyd Mayweather Jr., obviously, he's very close to Al Heyman. He has Mayweather Promotions, but he partners with PBC. He likes to say that he is the PBC and the PBC is him, and that Mayweather Promotions, there is no separation, okay? So Floyd Mayweather, he comes out and he says that this is not true, okay? That Errol Spence and Terence Crawford is not going to happen yet. It's not close to being done. And he stated, don't post about it. Don't talk about it. This is what Floyd Mayweather had to say. Well, obviously, Floyd Mayweather is close to Al Heyman, so he would be aware. Now, Terence Crawford, he was with legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter Bob Arum. And he's since parted ways since his last fight with two-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Sean Porter that took place November 20th of 2021, which he stopped Sean Porter in the 10th round. He's parted ways with Top Rank. That seemed to be the biggest hurdle, okay? That we have to bring two joint networks together to make this fight. And that's no longer an issue because Terence Crawford is a free agent, okay? And so now Terence Crawford will have to obviously get a deal done with the PBC because there's no doubt that Errol Spence, according to the numbers, is the A side. And Errol Spence is the unified champion. He holds the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine belt, okay? So Errol Spence is clearly the A side, and you look at the pay-per-view numbers, when comparing his pay-per-view numbers to Terence Crawford, there's no doubt Errol Spence is the A side. And so with that said, that means that obviously Terence Crawford will have to go to the PBC, okay? And so Floyd Mayweather is saying that he's aware that it's not done deal, not even close. The ironic part is that Errol Spence, why would Errol Spence repost it? If it's not close to being done, and he would be known because he's the main party involved in this situation, right? Not that Terence Crawford is less than, but Errol Spence, like I stated, is the A side. So Errol Spence, he's let it be known that his pursuit and his sights are set on Terence Crawford and that WBO title. He has no interest in nobody else. Actually, when the PBC put up a post stating that who would want to see Errol Spence versus former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith One Time Thurman, Errol Spence, he went right behind that post and said, "Take the L out of lover, PBC. Letting them know it's over. I have no interest in fighting Keith Thurman." Okay, so he doused that fire quickly. Okay, and so for Errol Spence to take to his social media, okay, and repost what ESPN put up, okay, to let it be known that, you know, he feels like obviously it's close to being done. Errol Spence recently, he was at the fight of his close friend, undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. And he guaranteed the fight is happening this year. And he stated that, and if the fight don't happen, it's not on his part, right? Stating that it would be on the part of Terence Crawford if this fight doesn't come to fruition, okay? So with that said, you know, Errol Spence is very confident that the fight is going to happen. And now if the fight doesn't happen in October, let's say it doesn't happen in October, right? Errol Spence said he's 100% confident it's happening before the year ends. Well, that only leaves November and December. Okay. And Terence Crawford, he recently stated he's 100% sure that the fight is going to happen before the year is up. That's the only fight that he wants. He's 1,000% focused on fighting Errol Spence. That's the only fight he's looking forward to, right? So we know the fight is not going to happen in September. We know obviously it's not going to happen in the summer. October, November, December, right, would have to be the dates for this fight. If both parties involved saying they guarantee 100% that the fight is happening before the year ends, well, that means that they would have to fight in October. The end of October, November would be way off, okay? December, that's, you know, is possible, but why would it go all the way to December? And why would you want to compete with the holidays at that point in time, right? Where this is going to be a pay-per-view extravaganza, okay? You want the fans, you want the casual fans, you want the hardcore fans, you want them to be financially supportive of this fight. Now, if you start to venture off into the holidays, well, guess what? People's money starts to get limited. October is just around that Halloween date, right? Right before Halloween, if you have the fight in October 22nd or October 15th, right? That's right before Halloween, right? School starts to go back. People talk about school clothes, school supplies, right? You want financially for the fans, hardcore, casual, and in between, to be able to financially support a fight of this magnitude, right? And so why would you venture in a fight of this big into Thanksgiving, into Christmas ultimately? You don't want to venture into those dates, right? And so it makes sense to have the fight take place in October, period. And now, when you're looking at Terence Crawford, he'll be 35 in September. The last time Terence Crawford fought, November 20th of 2021. That means if this fight don't happen in the end of this year, you're talking about Terence Crawford sitting on the sidelines. So now Terence Crawford fought once in 2020, once in 2021, and none in 2022. And then in 2023, you're talking about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And in the meantime, Errol Spence has already expressed that he has no interest in waiting around and staying at 147. So Errol Spence going to fight one time in 2022. Okay. So it just makes sense that October is the date. It just makes sense business-wise for October to be the date. Okay. Now, maybe they haven't gotten as close as the reports say they're close to a deal. But again, Errol Spence wouldn't have reposted it if he didn't believe that it was close. Okay. He wouldn't have co-signed it if he didn't believe that it was close and an impossibility. So again, maybe there's a roadblock. Maybe there's a sticking point that needs to be resolved. And Floyd Mayweather is saying, listen, don't believe the hype yet. But this fight has to happen. Okay? If this fight don't come to fruition, the disappointment that the sport of boxing will have may be too much to fix. Okay? Fans are already starting to grow tired with the fact that the fights that the fans want to see happen isn't happening. So this fight is a must. And it's a legacy fight for Terence Crawford. It's a legacy fight for Errol Spence. So maybe there's a little a roadblock, a sticking point that needs to be ironed out, some wrinkles that need to be ironed out. But I truly believe that this fight is going to happen in October. Okay, we know 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, Saul Canelo Alvarez. He's going to fight September 17th. So seeing as though he's going to fight September 17th, it makes sense to give the fans a rest for a month before you put a tack on another pay-per-view event that the fans have to pay for, a massive fight, and you say October 22nd. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. But Floyd Mayweather says not happening and it's not close. But let's see how everything works. Errol Spence believes that it is a possibility. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.